Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run.
Hi, welcome to be my guest. Today we have back, by popular demand, an encore appearance. We have Lisa Shea. Welcome back, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yep. Lisa is multi-talented. As many of you remember, she's got 350 books out. It's a lot of books. She is also an artist. She has her art in the art gallery in Uxbridge, the Blackstone Valley Artists Association, of also which she is the president.
Yes.
We went to the open house this spring. Boy, was that fun.
Okay.
All different kinds of art. It's
Yes.
not just one trick pony here. It's all kinds of people. And let's see what else. So you're an artist, you're an author, you're the president. Did I miss anything?
I run the writing seminars at the local libraries.
The one that I'm going to go to next Thursday night, is it? Or Wednesday night?
Those are on Tuesday nights in Sutton. The one you're going to is my Sutton Writing Group monthly meeting. So that's a writing group that I mentor.
That's a writing group. And that's
Yes.
okay to go to if you really
Absolutely.
maybe have one page.
Anybody.
I've started to write, but I want to go and see what the other people do. They kind of read a little bit of what they have.
Yep, and talk about where they're stuck. And that way, if someone's never written before, they get motivated to give it a shot.
Funny how many authors I have interviewed over the years, and I thought, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to write? It's a little harder than I thought, because I'm doing it and I want to go back and correct it.
Yeah.
Now, we are going to go over not latest, she's still writing another one, but this was short stories, the Flood Myth short stories, 1 through 10 by Lisa, called The Historic Noah Flood. What's this one about?
Those are based on an actual occurrence that happened in history where the Black Sea was a valley, an empty valley, and the Mediterranean Sea was full of water.
Yep.
And at some point, the connection between the two of them caved in, so all the Mediterranean Sea water flowed down into the Black Sea and turned it into a sea. So there were people living down in that valley who then saw this wall of water, which was the Mediterranean Sea coming
Like a
down at
tsunami,
them.
right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And they had to flee for their lives. So the ones who had boats were able to ride it out,
Yep.
and the ones who didn't ended up drowning for the most part.
Is that why Noah got that art going?
Well, he might have seen, you have to believe that the cave-in didn't happen all at once, that it started, like the top started caving in and stuff, so the water must have been coming down faster and faster, and
Yeah.
the people who were attentive to it were the ones who probably survived.
They survived. And this is true. This is really
Yes,
true.
and people assume that that's where the Noah story came from, that there was an actual flood, and as far as people down in that valley, because, I mean, the Black Sea is huge, it would have seemed like the entire world was flooding,
Yeah.
because they could see water all around them, and they couldn't see land anywhere anymore.
You decided to write this historic Noah Flood books, but your other books are mysteries, right? You've got the Purgatory Chasm. How many books in all on the Purgatory Chasm in the Sutton area?
Those are 6 are out, and then the 7th I'm working on.
And what's the name of the 7th?
Ginkgo, something with a G. They're all letters of the alphabet, so they start with the A's, B's, C's. I forget what word I paired with Ginkgo.
What is the book that I just read that you wrote?
Probably Fur Fallacies?
She's driving along 146
Rumble Strip.
Rebel Strip.
Yes.
And the cop pulls her over.
Yes.
At first I'm thinking, has she been drinking or something? But I know exactly what you're talking about. Was it it's sort of near the plaza where the bookstore is, and the Pleasant Valley, or the former Pleasant Valley hotel?
Well, it's where Lenny's Liquors and the thing that used to be a donut shop, which is now the Blackstone Restaurant.
There's a restaurant up there?
Well, did you know where Lenny's Liquors is? So if you're coming south from the mall.
Okay, from Millbury, okay.
Yeah. And then you're coming through and you go past the Millbury exit ramp that goes to Main Street and stuff. Then past that is a little area on the right that has a liquor store and a thing that was a donut shop for a while and is now a little restaurant, the Blackstone Grill or something like that.
So that's about where this happened.
Yeah, so that's where that happened.
So I know where that pizza shop is, and then Enchanted Bookstore and over there
Yeah.
and everything. Okay, so this one. She had another one, and we had talked about this at one point. River Jordan, and what's this one now about?
So that's set in biblical times, and it's set with a girl who everyone was, well, not everyone, but many people were Jewish back then because Christ had not started his missionaries. And she meets Jesus when Jesus is just talking with John the Baptist and starting to present himself to the world. And her family wants her to marry an older Jewish man and become a traditional Jewish wife, but she is enraptured by Jesus' message and wants to follow him.
That's a true story, right? Or
Well,
based on
no.
the facts. Well,
It's based on the actual knowledge that we know of Jesus and the research I did into how people lived back in that time, but there's no evidence of this particular girl following
this was
him.
book 1 of the Dove and the Wolf series.
Yep.
And this was this book 1 of the Flood series?
That has all 10 books in it.
It's got all of them inside. That's right, I forgot.
Yep, no, it's okay. They're short stories, so that has the first 10 of that series.
Yep.
And the same thing with the River Jordan. There's 11 books in that series now. So the first 10 are in a book about that shape.
Yeah.
And then when I get 11 to 20 written, then I'll pack them up into a book.
Come over to the Upton Library. They just told me downstairs that they've got quite a collection of Lisa Shea's books. You're going to love them. And you're on the next one regarding Sutton now. Another
Yes.
mystery coming out.
Yes.
Those are my all-time favorites. Oh, I love those. You can go right through that.
Oh, good.
You really can't. Now, this, you're telling me to talk about, you run a workshop. Tell us about this one.
All right, so there's 4 parts to the workshop. So we do them once a week for 4 weeks, and there are 2 hours for each day. They talk about publishing books, doing the book covers. So the ones that are coming up in Sutton are June 11th and June 25th, and then I have a set in Grafton that's July and August on Mondays, and then I have a set in Whitensville, which is in August on Wednesdays.
Right. Okay, now this one is going to be writing and designing a successful book.
Right.
That's in Whitensville?
So in all places, so in Sutton and
okay.
in Grafton and in Whitensville, it's a 4-part seminar series. And someone could come just to one part if they want to, or they can come to all 4. The first session is on writing the book and designing the cover. The second session is on all forms of publishing, how to look for a publisher, how to self-publish, what a vanity press is.
Yeah.
The third series is all about book marketing, and it also applies to artists and to other types of business owners, how to do different kinds of marketing through newsletters and in person and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then the 4th week is all about social networking, so how to do Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and that also applies to authors and artists and small business owners. So because I'm with the Blackstone Valley Art Association, I
yeah.
do a lot of work helping artists get out there on Instagram and how to use Twitter properly.
Well, we just had a wonderful artist on, Kaylin Monet. She was on with us yesterday. You'll see her show coming up. And she is actually in the audience right now. She's going to be meeting with Lisa because her artwork is, I love it. It's whimsical, it's pretty, it's fanciful, and you can't look at it and feel sad. Yeah,
It's just over. Yeah, hand me over the girl.
That's good. Sure. Come on across. Yeah,
Mark
we'll
it.
hold it up again. Sure. She's in the audience. Just brought it over. You may remember when you see her show, but Kaylin did this. And that's what I wanted Lisa to see. Kaylin is from New York, and she drives the whole way up here to be on this show. And these are actually CDs. And they pick up the color from it. And she always has stars in her work.
Beautiful.
I thought you'd like that. You like the color blues, but I know, yeah. Oh, yeah, I had that all.
Oh, see, and you've got the stars on your shirt. So
Yeah.
you've got the black and the stars, and I've got the blue. So this is like a combination of us.
Yep, she's amazing. That's why I wanted her to meet you. And then Paul said, well, Lisa's coming tomorrow, and I had forgotten. I went, oh, my God. Now, you have the writers group that I'm going to go to. That's on Thursday?
It's the second Thursday of the month from 6 to 8 at the Sutton Library.
Second Thursday. So, okay, that's going to be next Thursday that
Yes.
I go. Okay, 6 to 8.
Yes.
You serving dinner?
No.
Jeepers. Okay, so I got to eat. I got to squish it in before I go.
Or go after. Unless you're
I'll
going to
never
starve
make
to
it.
death. Okay.
I'll never make it. Okay, and it's up at the Sutton Library.
Yeah.
Where? It's kind of a small. Where do they meet?
The Sutton Town Hall has a basement, so you go around the back, and that's where the library is. So it's in the basement of the town hall.
What happened to? It used to be in the parking lot, and I used to go right into it.
Yeah, that's the basement of the town hall.
That's the basement?
Yes.
I always thought it was just like regular level.
Well, there's a hill.
Yeah.
So if you go in the front of the town hall, you're on the first floor.
Yeah.
And when you're going in the back side, you're now down on the basement floor. It's like, if you have a drive-in garage, then
Yeah.
the house is up on the first floor because
Yeah.
it's on a hill.
Like the split level type of.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's over at the Sutton Library.
Yes.
It's next Thursday, the 13th. Is it?
Could be.
The
I'm
13th.
bad with dates.
6
Whatever.
to 8. 6 to 8. For spring yourself, if you haven't even started to write yet. I got out like 3/4 of a page. I might work on it a little bit more. I told Lisa about my idea of what to do, but I'm like, it's a choice between writing a book on leadership versus writing a cute story about seniors on the beach.
You should do both.
But that's you.
Well, but there are times that you won't be in the mood for the serious stuff, and you'll just want to write something casual. So then you work on the seniors at the beach, and then there'll be times that like you're really in a mood to focus and get some leadership ideas out. So that way you work on whichever one you're feeling happy about.
Why hadn't I thought of that? Because I'm not Lisa. That's a good idea, because I do tend to get bored with one thing for a while and then go on to the next. And Lisa, you're like me. You like to sleep all morning, right? And then you start waking up and going for it all day, and then you're a night owl, right?
Yeah.
We're out there. Was it Jerry Williams on WRKO in Boston? He used to say, they're out there. Now, I want to talk about this too. I love this magazine, Mused. It's online, literary, and it's in. She publishes this magazine, right? You do this, or is this through Bella Online Literary Review?
Right. So Bella Online's a large website that I run.
Okay,
so
so
this is
she
part
runs
of the
that.
Bella Online library.
You're a poet, all right, an author, artist, you name it. She's got everything in here. Gee, I don't know. God. Look at this picture of a big golden bum ant. That's art.
That's from Australia.
Yep. And let me see. Do any of the artists over at the Uxbridge Gallery, are they published in there too? Are they in here?
Yep, we've got that's Carol Dandrade right there,
Oh.
who's one of our more popular artists.
Let's see if I can find one.
Dennis
that would-
Smith is one of our painters, and he often has pictures in there.
A Ghost Spider, digital photography by Mark Berkery.
He's the Australian person.
He's over in Australia. That's how far they all over the world.
Yep.
They find you.
Well, and this particular person is extremely into meditation and mindfulness, so he'll just sit in his garden for hours and hours waiting for a bug to come into the right pose. So he's very dedicated at what he does.
And he has probably his camera right beside him.
Yeah, yeah,
Says the bug smile.
sitting there waiting. But we have painters and sketchers and pastel artists, and we've got a wide range of different people participating in this.
So now I was telling our guest yesterday that it includes artwork, all kinds, right? Photography. There's poetry in here. Did James Nicola connect with you?
I don't think so. I'll take a look through my email.
Okay, he has been on here. He is also from New York, and he's a
Okay.
stage director in New York City. When he's up here, he comes and he actually acts out his poetry.
Oh, right.
He is amazing. I'd love to see him get in here. I love this one. Dennis Smith, Fall Colors, Ink and Wash.
I think you're going to be talking to Dennis at some point.
That's right. Dennis is coming on the show. Gosh, I don't know if you can see this. I think they do it in watercolor ink first, right?
Could be. I'm not familiar.
Then they probably use like a Sharpie over it to draw. Like the lady I like, they're doing her little critters.
Or maybe they draw first and then paint it in. I don't know. You'll have to ask Dennis how he does it.
It fascinates me. I would love to have the little critter picture. Oh, I'd love to have those.
Talk to her.
Do you know Maine, North Bluefield, Maine? Acrylics by Dave Boudreau.
Oh, he's the lead guitarist for my boyfriend's band, and he's also an artist.
Yeah.
So they play music in Millbury and Sutton and all sorts of places around here. I keep saying that they should come on and be on your show.
Well, of course they should. How many in the band?
Well, there's 4, but they want to bring the drummer in here, so they do small acoustic sets with the 3 of them,
That
and then
sounds good.
with the drummer they play rock and roll and Led Zeppelin and louder stuff.
I remember years ago when we started out at the other location, we had, oh my God, 7 or 8 musicians all in the room. And the reason I had found them was that I was coming out of UMass through the lobby and I heard music. UMass, you never know what they're going to do. It was a little group of patients who are part of the mental health unit, and they were there and they were playing beautifully.
Oh, wow.
And I saw this, the psychiatrist that runs it. I said, we got to get them on the show. We did. We fit them all in. It wasn't here, but it was tight. But we got everybody in. So I think we could definitely fit 4 of them in here.
Well, I know I've been in here before when you've had 3 people playing.
Yes.
So I figure if just the 3 of them come in and they just play acoustic, that they could probably make it work.
Oh, definitely. Oh, okay. So now, Mused. How would they go about getting this magazine?
It's a quarterly magazine, so it comes out on the equinoxes and the solstice, and everything's on bellaonline.com, which is B as in boy, ELLA, online.com. Or you could probably Google Mused Literary Review and find it that way. But all the submission forms are online, and it's all free, so you just submit, and it'll go toward whatever the next issue is. So if right now we're in the middle of assembling the summer issue, anything that gets submitted would go towards the fall issue.
It's free.
It's free
I
to
know a lot
submit.
of artists say, I don't think I can afford $500 a year. No. All artists, poets, writers, Mused. And this is a very high quality.
Yeah, Lulu does a great
This
job
isn't
with
a
the
cheap
printing.
magazine. This is absolutely gorgeous. When did you start this?
12 years ago, I think we figured out last time. Because what issue is that? That was issue, or
27.
volume 11 in 2017. So it was 11 years before 2017. So
So you started
But
this
that is-
in 206?
that
How's
could
my
be
math?
for 2000.
2006, am I right?
Yeah, probably 2006.
What gave you the idea to do that?
Well, I've seen a number of other literary magazines, and a lot of them had content in them I felt uncomfortable reading, which I suppose is their point. They wanted to be edgy and sharp and have gore and that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
yeah.
But I'm not a gore kind of person, so I said, well, I wonder if I could make a literary magazine that still brought up interesting ideas but didn't have blood dripping out of body parts and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I
so
know.
that's how we go. So, and I warn people up front when they're submitting that if they're trying to do something gory or like that, there's probably other magazines that is better suited toward that.
Yeah, I think my son, he's a millennial. He probably could tell you where those magazines are. But I've talked with him. He's a poet, and it is not gory and gooky. It's almost romantic. Sometimes it's sad.
Well, that'd be great. Yeah, we'd love to have him submit things to it.
I know. I would love to have him do it too, but it's getting him. I don't know. I'm not the only parent that will tell a kid over and over again, you have a talent.
Yeah.
You can use it for free, and well, I don't know.
Well, it's the same thing with writers. It's a scary thing to put your work out and have people judge it, and maybe someone will say they don't like it or it's not enough of this, and
Yeah.
it's easier not to put it out there in the first place than deal with that sort of problem.
Exactly. And like at your writers group, I cannot imagine you allowing anybody to be nasty to anybody.
Right. Oh no, we're very supportive, and the same thing. There's a bunch of writers groups out there that are very. They claw each other's work up as part of the process,
Yeah.
but we don't tend to do that. We tend to be supportive and encourage the parts that we like about it.
Yeah.
And if someone writes, like if someone came in with something gory, then I would just say it's not for me,
Yeah.
and I won't make a judgment on it.
Yeah, exactly.
You should talk to someone else who likes gore to get better feedback on what you're doing.
You're very democratic about it. I like that. I mean, there's room for everybody. You just have to find your niche. But it says on the bottom, plays. James ought to know about this. Jim Nicola, he's a stage director. Plays. The poetry, fiction, nonfiction, art, interviews. Now, I missed this part last time. The interviews.
Those are in there occasionally. It depends who I find. So, for example, I interviewed Mary from Peter, Paul, and Mary before she passed away. I've interviewed Karen Allen, who was in the Indiana Jones movies, because she's in the Berkshires now doing knitting. She
Yeah.
makes scarves and things.
She went to the Berkshires.
Yep. So I drove out to the Berkshires and talked with her about her knitting and such. So occasionally we'll put someone in there who I feel is, I suppose, inspiring and helping people try something new or think out of the box.
You have got everybody's picture goes in here.
The contributors, if they want to, some contributors choose not to put a picture. I think, like, if you look up B for Berkery, that Mark put a bug in as his face.
He didn't want to. He's got his bug for his picture in here.
Yes.
Mark Berkery, love your bug. He's a shy one.
Yeah, he does. It's okay. If someone doesn't want their picture in there, then that's fine.
How about Carol Friesman?
But like Bob Evans, that's our vice president of the Blackstone Valley Art Association. You can look under F and see if she's in this issue.
Barbara Frieswick. Yep, there is no. Nope, she's not in this one. Not in this one.
Yeah.
Perhaps in one of the other ones. She
Yeah.
is really.
It
She's
depends if people choose to submit or don't choose to submit. We'll see if she's in this one.
now. It's not a juried thing. I mean, you basically.
We do vote to say what gets in, because we get deluged with entries, so
Yeah.
not every person who submits to us has their work go in there.
Right. Oh, I love that picture. What is that? Oh,
That's
what is-
Carol Dandrade. Carol Dandrade is here.
Oh
Hold it
my
up.
gosh!
Please, my hands are shaking.
Is she from locally?
Yes.
Look at this. Now,
I've
this is
tried
our
to
one.
get her on your show, and she is very shy, and she refuses to come on.
Well, tell her, that we're very relaxed.
I've tried.
We don't bite.
I tried
We
to
have-
say that.
This is gorgeous. It's photography, right?
Yes, she is an amazing photographer.
That,
In fact, I think the cover is hers. If you look on page 2, it should say who did the cover,
let me see.
or maybe page 3. Yeah, that's Carol Dandrade.
You know everybody's style. So if my friend, Kaylin Monet, wonderful artist from New York, came on, you would get to know her style.
Yep.
It's kind of hard to miss it. It's gorgeous. It's blingy, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
And I think if I got something with CD pieces on it, I'd know who that came from.
she would know with the bling, and the little stars are always on. You are a master of different styles. You came in one day. I don't know if anybody remembered, but one of the interviews, she came in one day with a fantastic skirt. Was it the skirt or the dress?
It was
shoe?
a dress.
The dress, and you had designed it tie-dyed it all yourself?
Cyanotypes, which is a historic form of photography.
Tell them again what that's all about.
Back before we had color photography, we had black and white photography, and they were playing with different ways to get the black and white to work on surfaces. And as part of the testing, they came up with which was blue and white.
Yeah.
So a combination of chemicals made blue and white images.
Yeah.
So if you take a piece of paper and then you paint it with this substance, and then you put an object on it, like a leaf or a hand or something, then the sun shines and turns the rest of it blue, and whatever is not hit by the sun stays the paper's color, so it stays white. So that's where you get images where like the fern is all in white and the rest of it's blue.
Where did you learn that?
It's a historic form of photography. So when you study the history of photography, that's one of the steps that it went through.
I wonder if Paul, our cameraman, did you study this at the academy you went to?
No, we didn't study it.
No, you didn't study that?
It was mentioned. Yeah.
You went to Brooks Academy in California, wasn't it?
Brooks Institute.
Institute. Yeah, that was, I don't think it's anymore now. I don't think so. I don't
And
know.
I think I saw when you were flipping through one of these that there was, a cyanotype in
All
there
kinds
to
of
show
art,
what
you know.
people- Right,
everything.
yeah, so that thing there, if you want to hold that up, that's that blue
Oh,
thing.
well, okay, that's
Is
that
a
is yours, yeah.
cyanotype, yeah.
Now, that is what did you call it again?
It's a cyanotype, so
Cyanotype.
CYAN, like cyan, and then O-type. So those are bicycle gears. So I laid bicycle gears down on a painted piece of paper, and when the sun shone, it turned the rest of the stuff blue and left the gear shadows the paper color.
Lisa does so much, I swear there must be 3 of you. I don't know how you do it all.
But as we said, my boyfriend does all the cooking, so I just wait for food and he brings in a steak or whatever.
And
we're
he
having
does
for the day.
everything.
Yeah.
How about breakfast? Or is he a morning person?
Well, neither of us are morning people, so I just have a protein shake in the morning.
And what's the biggest meal? Dinner?
Dinner, yeah.
Okay. Oh, boy, can I relate to this. Now, again, first of all, how can they reach you if they want one of your books?
Well, they could go to lisashea.com, or I'm on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or all the other kinds of sites like that.
And to get to Mused?
BellaOnline.com, so B as in boy, ELLA online.com, or if you Google Muse Literary Review, you'll find the pages for it.
Right, and then you can just go online and fill it out, and it'll go directly to you,
Yeah.
and she will see what you do. And do you write back to them and say you should be featured in volume?
Yeah, when we get through the voting process, there's a team of us that votes on things. And because I submit artwork, I don't vote in the artwork team.
Okay.
So other people, so I'm not voting myself into the issue. Other people
Right.
are voting for that thing. So we get a slew of entries in for, let's say, the summer issue, and then we all sit there and vote on the entries, and then emails go out to the people saying either they've been accepted or that
So
they're
there are 4
too full.
issues a year?
Yes.
4 a year. And if somebody is new and, well, not new to art, but a little bit nervous, what do you say to them? It's okay.
Oh, we have all different styles. I mean, we have, like I said, we have painters and photographers and drawers and sculptures, and we're definitely interested in featuring more styles. So
Yeah.
it's probably easier to get in if you're some sort of a painter, because we have fewer painters than photographers.
I
We've got
noticed
so many
that.
photographers coming in that it's,
Uh-oh.
I suppose, a little harder. Well, no, but you might as well do it anyway.
Well, I'm not, but my husband is a photographer, and he's like, oh,
Well,
my
but he's
God.
an awesome photographer, so
Oh,
we
my.
definitely run his stuff.
Well, they're hanging all over the house. I mean, it's everywhere you look. And then my artwork is very funky, abstract.
Well, see, but that's good. We need more funky things, I guess is what I'm saying.
But it's still totally different from a lot of the conservative stuff. you
That's
do.
okay. As
But
long
it-
as there isn't gore in there. If it
No,
was
there's
like
no gore.
eyeballs dripping out of a face or something.
What did I see? This woman now, speaking of eyeballs, Redemption Acrylic and Mixed Media by Deb Bonin. Can you get this? Is that a painting?
Yes. Yeah, so that's, we get so many pictures of flowers that
Yeah.
those are commonplace for us now, but then something like this comes along and we're really interested in showing it. So if we got 200 pictures of flowers and
Yeah.
then we saw this, we'd be more likely to run this because we've already run thousands of flower pictures by this point.
Caitlin, hand us one of the ones that you want. I will hold that up and go. Just pick anything. Right? She's right in the audience. She's going to pick something, and I'll tell Lisa about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, see, we've run something like this because this is cool
This
and
is
unusual.
We had her on yesterday. Now this is Caitlin who's in the audience. You can turn the lights on and off. That's got to be different. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. She can just do it, and then you can hang it somewhere if you want to. Have I got that? It must hang. No, I guess it's this way. Those are planets, I believe. I just love it. Of course, her trademark star is gorgeous. You see what I'm saying? She just took my attention. Kaylin, you're amazing. You two, oh my God, I thought you two might groove together. I thought this is amazing artwork. Now, your next book is coming available when?
Soon.
Oh, I hate when she does that
I
to
won't wait
me.
a date.
Soon, well, maybe by August.
Yes. One would have to hope by August, because then I have to start the next one. This year, 2019, is when the next book, which would be H, so I have to think of an H tree. So I want to finish the previous one,
Yeah.
so I get all the characters down before I start the next
Well,
one.
you got so many different kinds going. You must be on your porch. They must get delivered to you, right?
Well, I don't order all of them in print copy. That's why I'm out of the whichever one out, the Dove
Yeah.
and the Wolf. I'm out of the Dove and the Wolf ones because I've sold all the ones I have, and I haven't bothered to order more.
Yeah.
So I don't keep all the books in the house. When Amazon does orders, they do print on demand. So if someone orders something from Amazon, Amazon runs it through the printer right at that moment and sends it to the person. So I don't need to keep copies myself.
Okay, because I can just picture, I don't know where you live, but I can picture the front stoop like, you see UPS is like sort of, they live there, but that's not how it goes. But how do you get your copies, though?
Well, normally I don't need copies because I don't do a lot of local book signings. Like I'm going to a Touch of Magic in Uxbridge, which is their paranormal new age shop that they've got on Main
okay,
Street.
yeah.
So I'll do a signing there in July, and before the signing I'll order and say 10 copies or 15 copies of the Black Cat books and bring them all with me.
The Black Cat books.
Yep, and then I'll leave them there for them to sell.
Yeah.
So I don't tend to keep books in the house because there wouldn't be enough room for all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I could just see they're like hanging from the rafters. We've got about 2 minutes left. We've been talking with Lisa Shea, Lisa from Sutton, one of our favorite authors, and she's working on the next one as part of a series, but she's got other ones out there too. 350 books is a lot of books in how many years? 10 years?
Yeah, I suppose mostly the past 10 years is when I've been writing them.
That is a lot. And here I am sitting at the computer thinking, okay, I've got the idea, and I can talk to myself in my head about how it goes. It's this.
Well, you should get the Dragon software where you can talk to your computer,
Yeah.
and then just sit there and speak ideas. And once you get it all in the computer, then you can rearrange it and all of that kind of stuff. But you need to get it in there in the first place. And
Don't worry about correcting it. Just go.
Yeah.
Just go.
Yeah, so if you like to talk better, then just get the Dragon software, which is a voice recognition system, and then just sit there and have a glass of wine and sit there and talk different ideas at the computer, and it will
I didn't know that
get them all
existed.
written down. Yeah. Dragon is good because you train it on your accent. So, like if you're talking to your GPS, it's trying to recognize all different kinds of voices,
Yeah.
and it may miss a lot of words. But with Dragon, you spend time to train it, and that way, when you're actually speaking your story, it knows your voice and your
Yes.
accent, and it's accurate.
So it's sort of like a mother recognizing her baby's cry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, if you're interested in the Blackstone Valley Art Association, they can get in touch with you at your email.
Sure. Or they can go to bvaa.org.
BVAA.
Be like in Blackstone.
BVAA.org.
Yes.
And it's only $25 a year.
Yep.
I know of well, it's not in existence anymore, but there was a gallery, and boy, I think it was a lot more than that. This is great because it doesn't discourage people starting out, especially. Some people are on a limited income,
Yeah.
but they're very talented. Get everybody in there, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and the open house is held right there in Uxbridge. We went, and all kinds of art. Oh my gosh. I fell in love with one particular style. I can't get her on the show, but it's
I will contact her.
it's a little, I think it was her. There was another lady that's in Italy right now. But anyway, I loved it. Yes. All right. We'll see you back when you have your next book.
Okay.
Promise?
Yep.
Better. Okay. We'll see you next time, I'll be my guest.
All right. Thank you.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream.